Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here. So Warhammer 2 has just been announced at EGX. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone was expecting it. You know, my video yesterday was kind of just me saying there's a chance it could be Historical Total War, but we all think it was going to be Warhammer 2. And they've announced the factions and they've dropped this release trailer. So what I'll do is I'll let you guys watch this trailer now, and then we'll jump back into it and we'll kind of run through the trailer and I'll give my thoughts and opinions. And we can run through a few of the things I've actually talked about the game already, so you guys can get some information if you kind of missed the EGX interview and stuff like that. So enjoy the trailer. Okay guys, welcome back. So either you wanted a Historical Total War or not, Warhammer 2 is coming our way. So I think I'm kind of excited for it. You know, I've definitely enjoyed my Warhammer a lot more recently. I'm kind of disappointed that we got no news about Historical Total War. I mean, it's been about 2 years now since Attila was released, or maybe even longer than that, which is pretty ridiculous. But they have said that a Total War kind of like game is a Historical Total War is definitely in the works, and I imagine if it's taken them that long to kind of get it to a point where they're going to announce it, like, it's going to be something just mind-blowing, and I hope that is the case. So, you know, I've got my faith in Total War and Creative Assembly that they, you know, are obviously working extremely hard, and they are going to not forget about us historical fans. However, let's go ahead and look at the trailer. You guys just saw it. Do let me know what you guys thought of the trailer. Whether you want Warhammer 2 or not, it was definitely a very well done animated trailer. So what we'll do is we'll jump off. We are obviously deep in the Lizardman territory here, and we first off get to see immediately the High Elves. So by the looks of it, I'll run through the factions as they appear. So we start off by seeing some High Elf units. They, by the looks of it, look like some Dark Elf crossbows they're actually holding, which is interesting. We'll turn up the sound a little bit as well, so you guys can see it. And then all of a sudden we see the Dark Elves coming into play. And in the actual studio talk, they talked a lot about each faction playing extremely differently. So I'm hoping that the Dark Elves will be very much this faction which doesn't want to, you know, confront the enemy head on. They want to kind of use ambush tactics and kind of hit and run stuff, which should be very interesting. Obviously, we have probably what's going to be one of the legendary lords for the Dark Elves there, looking pretty scary. And also, I should mention, feel free to educate me more on this stuff, you know, lore-wise, because I don't know a huge amount about the High Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and Skaven. They're kind of my weaker factions in Warhammer. I know a decent amount about, say, the ones we saw in Warhammer 1, like the Dwarfs, the Empire, the Greenskins and stuff like that, but these guys I don't really know too much about, so feel free to comment down below. So we have these guys over, we have this High Elf Mage making his way up. Again, we'll turn it up a little bit more, and I think he's going to this is like a lizard man, like, not temple, but like shrine or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Again, could be completely wrong, and by the looks of it, the Dark Elves are trying to assassinate it. I think this is something to do with a vortex, which we'll get onto in a second, which they talked about pretty heavily in the actual campaign itself, and I think you can see the vortex being created. I think this was something to destroy the first Chaos Insurgents, maybe? Something along them lines. But please do let me know in the comments, you know, lore-wise about this video. But either way, it does still look absolutely amazing. And you can see, I guess he's trying to get more information about that or something like that. The High Elf units looking very spectacular. And then here we go, the Elven Advance right there, the Dark Elf Advance, as we have some of the High Elves forming a beautiful looking shield wall there. And the Mage spells as we see some Dark Elf units come in, and there we go. What I was looking forward to in this trailer, the goddamn Lizardmen. I think the Lizardmen look great, and that shield wall looks great, amazing as well. Dinosaurs riding dinosaurs with loads of skink warriors moving up, the Sauruses, and obviously the big man himself, the mighty Mage, who can just wipe out cities. He looks fucking amazing. So everyone's coming in, clashing to fight right now. So we only see 3 factions at the moment. And, I mean, that shot right there looks really, really fucking good. It also kind of makes me think that we might get to see free-for-alls again in the actual game. Like, I definitely think that could be the case. If they're kind of... Obviously, this is just a cinematic trailer and they want to show all the factions, but you never know. Free-for-alls could be coming back, and I think that'd be really exciting if free-for-alls did come back to the game itself, you know? Especially as you have all these factions, all with their own agendas, you know? Having these free-for-alls, or maybe even just multiple teams, you know, like a 2v2v2v2, you know, everyone has their own agendas, so, you know, that could be really cool. But again, this shot looks great. We get to see some of the Lizardmen architecture around the forest as everyone clashes in. Again, we get a really nice out-looking shot. Again, this looks spectacular. Then we get to see the rest of the world as well. So obviously this is where the Lizardmen are to the right. And then I assume that's going to be the High Elf Island over there to the left. I assume that's going to be the case. And that also does bring up another point as well. Are we going to be seeing naval battles in the game itself? Because obviously there's going to be a lot of water between every faction now. So are we going to be seeing an emphasis on naval battles, or are they just going to be auto-resolved? I would like to see naval battles myself. That'd be pretty cool. And we also get to see the vortex thing right here. And they've actually mentioned in the interviews they did that this vortex is really going to drive the campaign. So by the sounds of it, they've kind of gone to focus on having a more story-driven campaign if you want that. If you want to have a story-driven campaign, you can follow that, or you can completely ignore the story and just go off on your own sandbox mode, which is Total War has always been about. But I kind of like this. I feel like a lot of the time in Total War, you never really meet that end goal. So the fact what they've done with like Bretonnia and a few other factions having quest battles to end the campaign for you if you wanted, and then you can just continue it on after that. But for majority of people, they hit that final quest battle and they end it. I really like that for the High Elf, for all the mini campaigns when it was the Wood Elves, and the Bretonian one I thought was really, really fun as well. So hopefully, you know, that does come into the game a bit more. By the sounds of it, they are trying to have a much more story-driven campaign where this vortex thing will completely, you know, kind of lead your campaign if you want to follow it that way, or you can just completely ignore it. So I like that personally from my point of view. We continue on the campaign. I think we get to see the Skaven, so we get this little bit, and then we get to see the hint that the Skaven are going to be the fourth faction. So Warhammer 2, Total War Warhammer 2, with loads of nice artwork stuff, Dark Elf like clouds and stuff. And then this is what I'm saying, we get to see some rats, so that has to insinuate that the Skaven are going to be the final faction in the game. And it just says 27. Oh shit! That says 2017. Holy crap, I didn't even see this. So we're going to get Total War we're going to get Warhammer 2 this year then. Hold on, I did not even notice that when I was watching it originally. So we're going to be getting Total War this year, which again makes me excited for the future of a historical. I know this is a Total War thing, but also for those people thinking about historical games, we could get an historical game in 2018. That's, oh my god, that's awesome. But yeah, 2017, I didn't even see that. That's amazing. So overall, I think the trailer looked amazing, and getting to see the factions come to life is really awesome. Some other stuff they talked about in the actual, I'll just go ahead and play the trailer again so you guys can watch whilst I talk. Some of the things they talked about in the interviews afterwards was they talked how much they want to kind of diversify every single faction. They want every single faction to feel very different. And I think they've taken that to the next level, because I mean in Warhammer 1, each faction does feel semi-different, but again, you know, some of them do feel, at least the base 4 factions do feel somewhat samey, and as the DLC factions came in, I feel like that changed completely and kind of got a bit more diverse. But we've definitely spoken about, you know, making the High Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and I assume the Skaven just to feel completely different to the to each other, which is amazing. So I'm assuming we're going to be having plenty more mechanics, plenty of different fight styles, which will be awesome. So that's really cool. I think they're definitely going to take Warhammer 2 and do some good stuff with it. That is for sure. They also talked about as well there being a grand campaign. So they've always said from the beginning of Warhammer 1 that eventually all these games are going to combine as one massive game, which just sounds awesome to me. The grand scale of everything in Warhammer when all the games are done sounds amazing. But they mentioned it as if it's going to come out around the end of or not around the end, but you know, a couple like month or a couple weeks after the release of Warhammer 2, that's when these games are going to combine together. So it's not going to be on launch by the sounds of what they were saying, that we're not going to get kind of a Warhammer 1 and 2 combining into one massive campaign, which I kind of like. That allows me to explore the whole of Warhammer 2, and then kind of after I'm getting a little bit bored of it, or maybe I've played everything, I can then go back and kind of do a much grander campaign with all the factions involved. I kind of like the way they're doing it. I imagine it's a lot of work to kind of expand the entire world and kind of combine everything together. So I'm sure they're going to go back and revamp a lot of stuff. And again, I just love these Lizardmen so much. That's one of the factions I'm 100% going to be playing. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. The trailer looks great. It's a shame there's no news on historical Total War at all. But you know, this game, as I said, does come out in 2017, so 2018 historical Total War TM question mark maybe? I hope that is the case. Lizardmen, High Elves, Dark Elves, Skaven question mark? That sounds really, really awesome. All the stuff they've said sounds good, you know, and you know, obviously they've always said that they're going to be doing free Warhammer games, so I would just embrace this and trust in CA that we're going to be getting a good historical Total War in the future. The campaign stuff sounds amazing, as well as that the actual overall when the campaigns combine, I guess a month or two after release, and you can play as the dwarfs, but you know, sail all the way over to the Lizardmen, which again makes me think about naval combat being a thing in the actual DLC or in the actual game going forward. Because I feel like if you're kind of sailing all the way across from the old world into the new world, you know, that's a long distance to go ahead and traverse. They also mentioned about deserts as well in a little movie thing, so that's why I kind of feel like Tomb Kings are going to be a DLC faction for Warhammer 2. You know, they mentioned about, you know, when they're talking about terrains, doing jungles and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure the Dark Elves don't have desert. I guess the Lizardmen might have deserts down in the south, maybe. But I feel like when they brought that up, that kind of almost confirmed the theory that we're going to be seeing the Tomb Kings in Warhammer 2 as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully I don't get a ton of dislikes just because, you know, it's Warhammer 2 and people want to see a historical Total War. I'm as disappointed as you guys are. I would have loved to at least heard something about a historical Total War. But oh well, Warhammer 2 does look great. You know, as a Total War fan, I enjoy all the games. And again, I'm looking forward to the custom maps as well. Imagine the custom maps people can do, you know, grand high elf fortresses with dragons and, you know, dinosaurs riding dinosaurs. I love that saying so much. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Warhammer 2 being announced in this announcement trailer. Also, let me know what you guys want to see from the game itself, and obviously also subscribe for all the information on Warhammer 2 when I get it. I'll be sure to go ahead and make more videos on it as more factions get released, and if I get any sort of, you know, pre-release stuff, I'll be sure to show it on my channel, so make sure to subscribe. So I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.